All right, so I've got the VO booted up here on Astro. Just a couple of things. If this is the first time that you're setting up Astro with VO, you'll need to change just a few parameters. So in advanced mode, under parameters, you want to change the MMT rate. So you want the mount rate yaw set to 0 degrees per second. You may have to force save that parameter. That's fine. The other parameter that you want to set is MAV to mode. And that should be set to normal instead of gimbal. And what that will do is forward the GPS information from the drone to the VO so that the images on board can be geotagged and you have GPS information for the target of the laser rangefinder. After you set those up once, you shouldn't need to set it up again unless you change payloads like back to the LR1. The other thing to mention is if you have an older Pilot Pro tablet with a red button on top, you'll need to go under settings and increase your buffer size to about 250 milliseconds. If you have one of the newer tablets with the green button on top, you shouldn't need to do that. Anyways, we're all set up here. You can see under our camera controls that we have a ton of different options. The VO exposes lots of different configurations for different use cases. In this case, we're going to be doing just a little bit of power line inspection. The sun is going down right now, but luckily the EO camera in this payload is very sensitive in low light, which is great. So I'm going to take off, get in position, and then we'll go through some of the basics. All right, so I'm doing some power line inspection here, and I've got the EO IR feed pulled up. One of the cool things that VO has is really good optical zoom. So as you zoom in here, you can basically start to see really fine detail on what you're inspecting. In position slow mode, you have really precise yaw and tilt control of where the VO is pointed. And then whenever you trigger the camera, both the EO and IR camera trigger. One of the cool things that the VO has is object tracking. Object tracking, and if I go ahead and tap on this icon here, the icon will turn blue, and then I can go ahead and basically tap on the screen, and the VO will lock on to whatever object I've selected in the frame. And then even if I move Astro around, the VO will continue to track that object. And if I zoom in or out, it will continue to track as well, which is
27% remaining.
pretty useful for power line inspection, quickly navigating to subject of interest, zooming in, taking a photo, moving on to the next thing to inspect. You can switch quickly between position and position slow mode for jumping between different power line poles or whatever asset you're inspecting. And then you can switch between different views of the camera here. So under, we have EO IR, IR EO. You can do side by side, which is pretty cool.
Battery, 25% remaining.
Or overlay. It's called sync, which is definitely useful for looking for hotspots and anomalies, that kind of thing. So there's lots of different configuration options here for the VO. While we're flying, one thing we can do is go to the photos setting here, and the images,
return advised.
The images will be downloaded from the aircraft, which is pretty cool. So you can check and see, like this is the power line pole we were just looking at. You can see the metadata here.
Low battery, 21% remaining.
And you can check all of the images that we've captured of the power line. All right, so I'm flying the VO here in more of a public safety application. It's about 30 minutes after sunset or so, so it's definitely getting pretty dark around me. I've removed the IR filter on the EO camera, so there's a setting to basically toggle this on or off, and it essentially allows more light to come into the EO camera that's in the near IR band and gets you better visibility in low light conditions. We obviously have the IR camera as well, which helps us see objects at night, but one of the cool things that the VO has is the laser rangefinder. So we can see in the lower left-hand corner over here the GPS lat-long coordinates of the target, which is the center of the frame, marked by those crosshairs. You can also see in the map view here the camera view projection. So as I go ahead and zoom in, you can see the spot that we're zooming into is in focus here. So this camera is really pretty incredible at night, which is great. So it's to my eyes, that, power line pole is pretty much black, but the VO is doing a pretty good job picking out details and stuff there, which is nice. While the VO does have object tracking, I would say for tracking things like vehicles, there's definitely a little bit more improvement that could be done. It's definitely not as robust as we would like it to be. So you can see here I've picked up a car, and it'll do a fairly decent job tracking it until something goes in front of the lens. So if the car goes behind a building or a tree or something, it will generally lose the car. You can see here, it just lost it. So definitely not perfect. One other pro tip to know, if you can't find a setting in the AMC camera menu, you can go to a web page on the Pilot Pro tablet and go to this IP address up here, and you'll get full access to a whole bunch more settings to configure the VO. So under systems, you can configure a whole bunch of different things about how the VO behaves. We do have a default settings that we recommend that you can import here. And then you will just download that file from our wiki and you can upload it to the VO, and it will give you the recommended settings for Astro. So one other pro tip there, and then also just a firmware update. You want to make sure that your VO is on a compatible firmware version with Astro. Under the OTA update page, you can go ahead and go to manual update and choose the file to upload there.